I didn't start to record this.
Oh,
So,
see, yeah.
so when I'm not recording when we're doing the activity session, like in the beginning, like we're doing right now, um, or I'll pause in between, segments.
Okay, that must be what happens because
And
sometimes like I'll watch the video and then I'm so close to figuring it out and following, but then it'll just like cut. So I kind of have to, figure out the ending on my own. So I
yeah,
was just
but
kind of curious.
that's the best way to do it, honestly. And
Oh,
and, and a lot of times, like the answers will be in chat, and you can't see the chat on the video. So like I'll ask people to put their answers in the chat.
mhm.
So, but I've tried to where I can, like you'll see, like we're working on question 18 right now. Um, at the end, I'll show you guys the answer from Ignithium. So
I
you,
find
kind
that
of- you
it's
have,
really helpful when the whiteboard is shown,
yeah,
like it's just a little bit easier to follow.
yeah. Anyway, so and the other thing that you can do if you're working on a question, because like one of the things is like, oh, I got to do the questions for my homework. That's right. But and this homework's just about ready to be done soon because we got to move on because we have other stuff to cover before the end of the
Yeah, it's
semester.
due Thursday,
But
yes.
but I want to say that uh, you know, like if you remember from the first exam, these are the exact questions you guys are going to see on the exam with just different numbers. So if there's
Yeah, I've
something,
noticed, yeah.
yeah, if there's something you don't know, then you should ask like in office hours or something.
You're right. You're right.
You know,
Mhm.
I always tell my kids who are about your age. I've got a 23-year-old, and I got a 21-year-old, and I got an 18-year-old, and I got a 13-year-old.
Wow.
And I always tell my girls, I have 3 girls, and they're all great students, but you have to be proactive. You know, life, this is right. Life requires, if you're going to be successful, you have to be talented and hardworking. And you got to engage,
Oh,
engage, engage, engage.
yeah.
So that just means if you need to get some information, you got to put yourself out there and go to the office hours, do your thing, and make sure that you understand. Anyway, so moving on. So Arsenio, you said you were just about finished. Are you finished now?
Oh, I had said I had got a little confused on using the 6 and 80
Oh,
and 87. I get a little confused when it says during this, like start using the changes to 87, because we used the 82 divided by 100, right, at some point to like put it to the power of 6.
uh, well, okay. I don't know what you're talking about, but see this. That's the utility function. So in our case, in this particular example, right, we have u is equal to x, in this case is tacos, right, raised to the 0.82 power, right? Are you with
Right.
me?
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's what I did.
and then so times tequila raised to the
The 0.18.
0.18 power. Okay, so that's the utility function for the consumer. And going back here, so, but that doesn't have anything to do with the prices, right?
Right.
So explain your confusion. what are you confused about?
I guess after like doing all that for this part, I'm a little confused on the next step
Well,
of using the utility for, like after I got the like 10.36 after
well,
timesing them together.
okay, good. And James, were you there? Because you said you were almost finished.
Hi. Yeah. Was the answer 8.54?
Well, I don't know because I haven't worked it out yet, but maybe you can help with Arsenio's question. So we have this utility function here. What's the next step?
The way I did it.
Okay, I'll help you out.
Okay, so from this point on, I did I did the price. So I did 0.21 times the total 202, and I got 42.42.
Well, I'm not sure why you did that, but let me help you out with this. Okay, so the next step is always right. Find the consumer's optimal consumption bundle, right? Because this is the consumer optimization problem, right? So find the. Are you with me, Arsenio?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Consumption bundle, and then so does that make sense, Arsenio, that we would say that this is what we got to do? This is because we have to find out. The question asks how much utility do they get from the optimal consumption bundle after the price change? Well, we have to find the optimal consumption bundle after the price change, right? So otherwise we can't plug it into the utility function. I don't know.
So this is where we would use the 87.
Well, I was gonna say like how much tacos are they gonna get, and how much tequila are they gonna get, right? We have to know how much they're gonna buy, right?
Like the breakfast.
And we don't know that. But yeah, of course, right? There are two pieces to this, and this is what I don't know if you were doing it or not, but this is what I'll be looking for on the exam, James, right? So I need a tangency condition, and I need a budget. Does that make sense? Does that is this what you did?
I think so, yeah.
Well, remember the tangency condition we said in the case of Cobb Douglas is pretty simple. And so generally it's the marginal rate of substitution is equal to the price ratio, which is px over py. And the marginal rate of substitution in the case of Cobb Douglas is alpha y over beta x. So if that's, we have to start with this equation. So this is what we did last time. So Jewel, did you see when you watched the video from last time that we did this?
Yes.
Yeah. And guess what? I'm letting you all know, if you don't do this, you're not gonna do very well on the exam. Okay. So you got to do that. And then the budget is the consumer's income is equal to px times x plus py times y. Okay. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys another few minutes to work this out. Give me your guys and girls example of how to work with the problem we have and formulate your tangency and budget condition. Okay. All right. I'll be back in just a minute. Okay. So we'll start with you, Jewel. How are you doing? You good? You with me?
I'm gonna be 100% honest. I am so stuck.
Okay, well, it's pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
We already did this. You know A and you know B. You see
Mhm.
0.82
Yeah.
and 0.18.
Yeah.
So can't you tell me what the tangency condition should be?
Oh, okay. So I just use 0.82 divided by 0.18.
Well, no, look. What's the tangency condition say?
AY divided by BX.
Yeah, what's A?
0.82.
Okay, 0.82 times Y, right? Would give us the first part of the tangency condition. You see what I mean?
So then the tequila price would be, or Choco's price would be 6. So 6 times.
Yeah. So all I'm asking you to do is to go and substitute for each one of these terms, you know, and I will tell you here, you have to be a little bit careful. Like the PX is the price of X. If I was going to be really careful here, and I would do this if we were, you know, on a regular board at school, you would know this is P sub X and P sub Y.
Okay, yeah, for sure. That I guess that's...
You know. But over here, it's A, and I did this in the other videos, like more explicitly. But if you want to be really, you know, careful about it, you would do something like that.
Oh yeah, that's okay. Okay.
You get me?
Okay, I'm figuring.
Yeah, and then you just substitute in.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, A is 0.82 in this example. This problem. B is 0.18 in this example. Yeah. So you have 0.82 times Y divided by 0.18 times X. And then you have, like you were saying, you have the price of X, which you know initially, and the price of Y. Now I want to point out this particular problem is asking about after the price change, right?
So my X would be the 87.
Yeah.
Okay.
So does that unconfuse you or no?
It does. Yeah, it absolutely does. Thank you.
Yeah. And again, I don't want to scare anybody, but this is not like most of the other classes you'll have as an econ major. Many more people fail micro than any other course. It's a core course and it's a lot of material in a short period of time.
Yeah, it's like, it's not that that's a problem I think it just takes a little bit longer to maybe, I don't even know, but once it's understood, it seems pretty easy once it's like,
oh, it's not supposed to be super complicated, but all I have to say is that, it's just, you know, again, the DFW rate for this class, which D is getting a D and F is getting an F, and W is withdrawing. And, you know, almost everybody, I think it's because like in other classes, like you take labor, for example, and they're going to talk about demand and supply of labor and maybe a couple of other things to do with wages. That's it, over with. But we handle demand and supply, consumer optimization, and we're going to move into production theory and cost stuff all in one course. So anyway, it's a lot of models all at once.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they're especially complex, but I'm just letting you all know that, like, if there's one class that you want to spend, you know, twice as much time on, you know, I think that the two classes, if you talk to most people in the major, they'll tell you intermediate micro and econometrics have the most challenging material. So anyway, I mean, and I always tell students, hey, listen, if you come back next semester, I will welcome you with open arms. I'm happy to have you. But, you know, it's better if you can get it over with. And so if you're thinking about whether you're going to get it over with or not, now's the time to dig in and, you know, finish up the semester strong. Anyway, so So what I would like everybody to do, and I normally have people do this when we're actually in class, is, and then you could do the PX and the PY, and you could do the budget, right, Jewel? Now, right, no problem. So you have those two equations. What I'd like everybody to do in chat is type, okay, tangency condition and budget condition. Because what I normally have people do is scream it in the class. So everybody type it in chat. And when everybody's typed it in chat, then we'll move on. Okay, we have 2. We got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then I normally go, you know, when I'm in class, like, I can't hear you. And everybody yell it again. But yeah, so it looks like we have pretty good compliance on this. And they're probably like, let's see, we could see, you know, but yeah, you've got to do these 2 conditions. And then are you with me, Arsenio?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. So, and you followed along with what we were talking about. You have to fill out these 2 conditions. And then you have 2 equations and 2 unknowns. And you remember from the lecture last time how you solved the first one for y in terms, x in terms of y. So does that make sense, Arsenio?
You said you solved the x one in terms of y?
Yeah, so you would reformulate this. So you have y is equal to some function of x. You just use algebra to do that.
Okay.
And then you take that y and put it in there. And then you have one equation in x. And then you just solve for x, which is your number of tacos. Does that make sense, Arsenio?
Yes, it does. Thank you. I was just doing the last one right now.
Yeah. So that's how you solve these problems to get your optimal amount of x and y. Now I'm gonna stop sharing this, and this is really for your benefit, Hannah, or not Hannah, your benefit, Jewel. So I'm gonna go back and this is an example, right? So we can see from the beginning. So how many tacos before the price change in this example, it would have been 219 tacos. Do you follow me, Jewel?
Yes.
And so you can see the answer there. And then how many tacos does he purchase after the price change? It drops. Well, it makes sense, right? You have this big increase in the price of tacos. So he drops taco purchases to 15.1. And do we have here? Well, I guess it doesn't tell us the amount of tequila that's going to be purchased, but you could figure that out too. And you have a huge decrease in the quantity of tacos purchased. And then the utility, right? If I had the amount of tequila too, which it would be part of the answer, then I would substitute that in the utility function, and utility should be 96.55 before the price change. And then this is what we were working on after the price change. It drops to 10.78. Okay. Now, these are the last two questions that we want to work on and that I wanted to talk about for the remainder of the lecture today. And so I'll go ahead and reveal them, right? So you guys can go back and look. Guys and girls can go back and look.
Hey, Professor, what was the answer for 18?
10.78.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. And does anybody have any questions about this right now? Okay.
I was more wondering when the next test is.
I would say probably we're gonna do like next Tuesday or Thursday, because we're supposed to turn this stuff in Thursday and we're finishing it up right now. So I would give you guys, about a week to prepare for the exam. We move on to new material, obviously, in the interim. Like this Thursday, I don't intend to talk about this stuff anymore. Okay.
Yeah, is it just possible for you to give us until Thursday, because this is somewhat harder material, so just so we can have some extra time to learn about it more?
Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with waiting to Thursday. The only issue is, like I said, lecture-wise, we move on to new material.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because we gotta, finish up strong.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing this for a minute, and I'm going to stop recording right now.